welcome back to the Soap Dish, where we dish about the soaps. Yes! I had to restart this like 3 times. I kept messing it up. I was like, it's such a simple intro. Get it right. I'm going to explain the little intro again just in case you didn't watch me yesterday. I'll probably keep explaining it this week and then people will know. But I've been wanting to say something different besides welcome back to my channel for a while. I had a list of names. Most of you probably know I have been streaming with Tweri on Sundays, and she wanted to give our show a name. And so I wrote up a list of names that I thought of, and I really like this one, but I thought I would use this one for myself. And my daughter has overheard me practicing how to say it, and she surprised me with the intro and the outro. So yay, I'm like a real YouTuber now. I just appreciate you guys' support. Also, I have not made the comment video yet. I am still sick, still sipping my tea, but I feel like I actually may be able to do it tomorrow. It'll be done one day this week. One day this week. I do have some other stuff to catch up on since I've been under the weather, but I feel better this evening than I felt all day, and I'm hoping that will carry on and I'll feel better tomorrow morning. All right, it's about a minute and a half, and I haven't said anything about the soaps. You don't even know what day it is. It is Tuesday, April 15th, and we are talking Beyond the Gates. So we start with Naomi and Bill. I didn't write any notes. I wrote down Naomi and Bill's names, and then I didn't write any notes for them to the whole episode because I was like, it's just the same thing. It's the typical back and forth conversation they always have. So I really wasn't anything for me to write until the end. If y'all hear noise in the background, my apologies to my daughter loading the dishwasher, because we do chores around here. All right. So ultimately, Naomi backs out of the lawsuit. She's referred them to someone else, one of her sorority sisters, someone who she feels confident can do the job, but that they go back and forth, but she finally admits because she loves him and she does not want her loving him to impact how she defends, how she presents in court. I don't know what I was trying to say right there. You see me like struggling. And he was so smug. He was so satisfied. Like, he was glowing. You would have thought he just won a lottery, which I guess having your daughter say they love you is, akin to winning the fucking lottery, especially when they've been apart. And then later, after Naomi leaves, calls Mike in, and Mike's like, "Oh, we heard what's going on. We heard she quit." And he was also smug. And Bill fired him. And he said, "We did vote about it. The other partners, the board agrees, but this was my decision." He's like, "I want you to know it was my decision. You're a liability." And I was like, dang, because I was watching with my daughter, as always. I was like, why now? Why couldn't he tell that to Naomi? Why couldn't he do that before? That might have made Naomi approach the lawsuit differently. And my daughter was like, yeah, he had to wait until she gave up. And I was like, ooh, that's nasty. So that's why I put that in my notes. I was like, I had to quote her for that because I think that says a lot. It's not just that he waited till she quit or she walked away, but he needed her to give up first, because as much as he is a father, he wants to win. And I think that reinforces everything we know about Bill Hamilton's character, so to speak. All right, so I have Smitty and Tyrell and Martin. Well, it's Smitty, Tyrell, and Samantha. Smitty's showing Samantha how to model, which was a cute little family moment. It was way too brief. Martin came in raging, confronting Tyrell, and I use that word intentionally. He confronted him as if Tyrell had did something wrong, which he should have talked to his father about it. But he's a victim, He's a victim in this, and I was a little annoyed when Tyrell was talking about how hard it was for him being a rich kid, the son of a congressman. I was like, what's even harder? Being poor, being broke. But I also understand, like, your struggle is your struggle, and we all have one, and it doesn't change because people's struggles and people's problems look differently. It doesn't make it any less of a struggle or less of a problem within reason, And then I just got to thinking about Tyrell and everything we've seen about him since the beginning. We've never seen him happy. Like, we see him after this picture was taken in the controversy, but we met him a couple of weeks before that, and he never seemed happy. And now we know he's being bullied the whole time. And so I promise guys, I'm not like, I don't have a dark cloud over me. I don't automatically think of like negative things, but now that I've had that thought about Tyrell's story being a teen suicide story, I can't get it out of my head. So now, like everywhere I look, I'm seeing evidence to reinforce it. And as much as I like to be like, oh, I had a great idea, and I do think it's a good idea from a story standpoint, not from like appearance, because soaps used to do stories that mattered, and not so much anymore. And I don't know that it's if I'm just had the idea and I'm having this great visionary, or if I'm seeing the story that they've laid out for him from the very beginning. You guys, I don't know. I know it's negative, and there will be people who don't agree with it, and you don't have to agree. But tell me what you think, though. Can you recall a scene of Tyrell where he was like happy, where he seemed like a regular 17-year-old kid? Because I can't. I wish I had the time to go back and watch like from the beginning, looking at it through that lens, but I barely got time to do this. But I think that's where we're headed, and I think it might be soon. I think it might be sweeps. If so, I will probably gloat a little bit, but it'll be a sad gloating. But I think it'll give good story. And my daughter, and I was talking about it again to my daughter, and she was like, "No, can't it be Samantha instead? She likes Tyrell." I was like, "That's what it's supposed to be. The worst best loss of a character is the ones that we love, right? Like I still think about Stone. I'm turning 43 years old, and it's been how many years? 30 some years since Stone died, and I still cry when I watch that scene. And I think that Tyrell could be beyond the gate Stone. Oh my gosh, I even as I said that out loud, I thought about like he really could be their Stone. Not just that it's a sad death, but Stone was a teenager too. Wow. Wow. All right, let me stop. Get out of that. So Danny's alone drinking and modeling and strutting around. As much as I love Danny Strut, I'm like, girl, sit your ass down before you. And then she did fall. She calls Andre. Andre's like, say the word. She said, word. I was like, damn. And then after that, Andre was like, damn girl. That damn girl was so authentic. If you know, you know. I was like, that's real talk right there. But Danny's drunk. Andre does come over. Jacob is with Andre at the hospital trying to get him to meet up with some a certified baddie. But Andre's like, I got something waiting on me you don't even know. Your wife's mother. But when Andre gets there, Danny is like laid in the floor, drunk, passed. No, she's not passed out, but she ain't too far away from it. Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. He carries her upstairs. She was like, you're so strong. I'm like, girl, you weigh 82 pounds. Stop it. But he does take care of her. He puts her in bed. He gets the aspirin or Tylenol or whatever. Gets her a glass of water. I was just like, oh, that's so sweet. And I really hate the moments where I identify with Danny, because there's moments that I'm not proud of. Like most recently, COVID era 2020. Like I know I'm not the only one who drank too much when the pandemic started, but I was going through a lot of things. I had lost my job, my relationship ended, and it wasn't my choice. On top of the world suffering, and I was in a dark place, and I was drinking way too much, and so I see myself in her like in the worst way, and I just want to hug her and tell her go to rehab, because I want her to avoid rock bottom, and I know that's not reasonable. Like they call it hitting rock bottom for a reason, because you kind of have to. But Lord, I would like her rock bottom to be higher than what I'm afraid it's gonna be. I'm very worried about her. And Andre, I was very proud of him. Like when he cuddled with her in the bed, I was like, oh. Then when she popped up and was like, no, I want to show you something. Like, girl, stop it. That's what a toddler do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Y'all remember Stuart from Mad TV? Look what I can do. Wait. Now that I say that, I don't know if that's okay. If that whole joke is okay anymore. All right, we'll skip past that. All right, I have Diego and Vanessa at the gym. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. And she almost, and then she's like, no, I just need a regular workout. I was like, okay, Vanessa, I'm proud of you, girl. And then Doug has showed up. Let me do before that. Before that, Doug was at the hospital. And he apparently got surgery after surgery after surgery. Shanice was like, you chasing that paper, huh? He was like, no, I'm just trying to stay the people. She was like, okay, whatever you say. And I do think part of it is making money to pay back that debt, but I think he also is trying to keep himself so busy, so distracted that he's not worried about the gambling. Joey noticed his absence and was like, yo, Randy, you better get your boy back over here. Randy was like, all right. But Randy didn't try to talk Doug into it. That's why I like Randy. I think he's a good... I know he's working for a criminal, and this probably says a lot about the type of man I choose in my life, but I don't mean to. I see the potential. He's a good man underneath his unscrupulous behavior. I see it. I see the real Randy. But he was just basically, even though he was supposed to be talking Doug into coming, he was an ear for him, and he supported him. And so Randy, I think he called Joey back and was like, yeah, I couldn't get him to come or whatever. Meanwhile, Doug goes to the gym, and that's where he meets up with Vanessa and Diego. And I thought by the time Doug got to the gym that Vanessa was going to be sitting on the sofa with Joey. And I was like, ugh, and that should scare him. But she was still there with Diego, and she's so messy and so nasty. I was just applauding her, and then I had to shake my head at her. I'm like, girl, why are you encouraging your mistress to to work out your husband? Stop it. But she wouldn't let it go until Diego agreed. So nasty. Oh, let's see, because I just been talking. There was something they threw in. Andre had a phone call where some of his footage was corrupted, and so he had to resend the files in the morning. I'm very interested. I know that means something. I just wonder what footage. I'm still wondering if Leslie's going to show up in the background of some of his footage. And Eva will be able to see it to find out that Leslie crazy as hell. I miss Leslie today, y'all. I was like, damn, it was a little boring without Leslie's crazy ass. Oh shit, that's all I got. Let me make sure. Well, yeah, been 12 minutes. That seems about right. It's decent for a Monday. But thank you guys for bearing with me, putting up with me, watching these shows with me, and dealing with my opinions and telling me your own opinions. I promise comment video is coming. I promise. Yeah. All right. Live long and prosper.